In the next 15 seconds, I'm going to play a short comedy clip that highlights what happens if you get involved with a party girl. So I'm going to play the clip, then I'm going to give you a full breakdown of my thoughts.
I've never had a girlfriend before.
And I'm completely ran through.
And we're that one couple in our 30s. Believe it or not, Katie actually rejected me when we were in high school.
I was only going after hot guys back then.
But she explained to me that she's not here to have fun anymore. Babe, I ran into your ex today.
Oh, Chad?
No.
Zach?
No.
Harry?
No.
Jake? Aaron? Dan? Tall Brian? Short Brian? Abraham? Mr. Sherhart? Benson? Cooper? Curry? Trevor? Zeke? Malcolm Kellner?
No. Michael.
Oh, Michael.
He's pretty big.
You're telling me. I used to party a lot, but those days are over. Now I'm ready to settle down.
I spent my 20s working really hard to build a stable, comfortable life.
Which is perfect timing because it's exhausting sleeping in a different bed every night.
The best part about dating Katie is how popular she is when we go out.
99. 100.
Oh my God, there's Michael! Hi!
Katie, I haven't seen you since the Eiffel Tower.
Babe, I don't know you've been to Paris.
I haven't. What?
So, as we just saw in the video, it's obviously comedy, right? This guy in the clip and the girl, like, they make little comedy videos like this. And I saw this the other day on Twitter, and I thought it would be a good small clip to share with all of you and then make a little commentary on it, because as the old saying goes, there's always truth in jest. In other words, behind a joke, when people mock you or make fun of something, there's usually a little bit of truth in it. And what they've done in this video, which is fantastic, is portray the example of, you know, the guy who's never had a girlfriend. So he doesn't have any knowledge or experience on vetting women, avoiding immoral women, avoiding women that are not into him. And like most guys who have a general knowledge gap and nowadays have lower self-esteem and have other problems, they don't really take relationships seriously until they become an older person. So the guy here, you know, the joke is, throughout his 20s, he's been single, never had a girlfriend. He's been working really hard, saving up his money to build a family. And he comes across this party girl who's lived a very promiscuous life, jumping from bed to bed. Throughout the video, you can see, oh, she's so popular. Everybody knows her. He goes through the list of all the different boyfriends, you know, and, oh, I used to party a lot. Those days are older. Now I'm ready to settle down. And it's like, even at the end of the clip, you see one of the boyfriends are there and they make like a sexual joke because she was obviously intimate with this guy. And the guy, throughout the video, the boyfriend, he always makes that face where he looks like he's coping, he's sad. But the thing is, gentlemen, yes, this is mocking men that get involved with women like this. But at the end of the day, you're responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. Like, you're not a victim. No one's putting a gun to your head and forcing you to marry a party girl. That's the funny thing for me when I look at couples in the West. It's like, you see people in the Middle East or other countries where they do not have freedom. They're forced into arranged marriages, oftentimes with someone that they're not truly attracted to. Someone that they don't have anything in common with. And they would yearn for the opportunity if they could be free to choose who they want to be with. And over here in the West, you have freedom of choice. And men and women are oftentimes, like in this clip, they're ending up with the wrong person. This party girl can't find a good man anymore because, well, the quality of man she wants, who's handsome, who would commit to her, because those men see right through her. So what does she have to do? She has to settle for this clueless beta male who's never had a girlfriend all his life, who's going to overlook her past and commit to her. But she doesn't feel anything towards him because she's settled. And she has to go for a guy who's clueless, or else she wouldn't get a real strong, confident, masculine guy to marry her. Because those sort of men want a woman who's feminine, has a clean past, is going to be a good wife and mother, and then see right through her red flags. And this is the theme of the video, right? That's the joke of, well, if she's a party girl, she's been ran through, no one wants her, she's promiscuous, she's damaged her ability to bond, she's more likely to have an STD, she's unloyal, she's not wife material, but the loser gets her in the end, because there's always some guy out there who's lustful that would give such a woman a chance. And the sad thing is, it doesn't really have to be this way. If you men had higher standards for yourself, jokes like this wouldn't even had to be made. Because no man would commit to a woman like this. Likewise, if values were firmer on women, they had better mothers to be examples, they had better role models for themselves, they wouldn't go down that path either. But as I mentioned, like, you're responsible for the quality of woman you choose. You have freedom of choice here in the West. You don't have to end up with a woman like this. If you pre-qualify a woman's values from the get-go, you ask quality questions, you look into her lifestyle, you look at her friends, you look at her past, it's going to give you a good indication of where this woman is going. Can people change? Yes. Right? Some people are recovering alcoholics, drug addicts, or they have other addictions, and they heal, they turn a new leaf, and they're a completely different person. But in the context of this video, we're talking about party girls. Women that are notoriously known to sleep around, cheat, lie, and eventually when they get old, they just marry the loser, the guy who overlooks their problems, as we see in the clip. So I'll tell you guys a story on this. I mean, I'm gonna go through the comments as well, but growing up, one of my mother's brothers, my uncle, he married this woman, very beautiful woman. But she settled for him, didn't really desire him. She openly admitted that she never loved him. And every time I'd, go over to England with the family and spend time there, every weekend she would come home from work and my auntie would get dressed up, put on the high heels, put on a nice dress, and she would go out every weekend to bars, to clubs, to parties. My parents and my uncle and all my cousins, we'd all sit there and like, where's the auntie going? But she'd always be off. See, once a party girl, always a party girl, unless they come to Christ and they turn their life around, right? But my auntie was atheist, she obviously a very godless woman, but she was immoral. She did not love my uncle. And she went out practically every weekend, clubbing, hitting on bars, to the point where I'd be downstairs with my cousin. I'm an old guy now, so back in the day, this was, playing on like a PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, and 2, 3 in the morning, a car would pull up, and my aunt would walk in, holding her heels, and my cousin would say, "Mum, who's that man in the car?" And she said, "Oh, that's just a taxi, honey." But it wasn't a taxi driver. It was some guy that she was sleeping around with, because she was cheating on my uncle. And she had been doing this for years. Fast forward 10 years later, she said, "I'm going to divorce you." And she divorced my uncle. Okay? And has my auntie remarried? Has she suddenly found the man of her dreams? No. She's in her 60s now. She's single. And not a single one of those guys that she's been passed around by, marries her, commits to her. She's like basically the town slut. That no guys will pump and dump, guys that are just as immoral as her, but they'll never marry her, they'll never commit to her. So now she's single. Sure, she has kids, but my cousins, some of them have kids of their own and grandkids, and they want nothing to do with her, because everyone knows who she is. Even my own family's cut ties with her, because we know what quality of woman she is. She ruined her own family, and now no one wants anything to do with her. But she's a party girl. My uncle knew this. He thought he'd change her. He thought he'd fix her. How did that work out for him? Divorced. It's not because, I'm a modern man and I'm a victim. No, you married the wrong woman, and that's on you. Okay? You saw what she was, but you turned a blind eye to it. Obviously, he can move on. I don't know if my uncle has moved on and found someone else, but I do know she's still out partying, clubbing, but she's lonely. Because human beings crave connection and intimacy, and my auntie's never going to find a man, and especially in her old age, that's going to want to take care of her, unless she's settling for the low-end scum, the type of man who's cheating on his wife, the type of older man who's out going onto clubs and bars, hitting on women, trying to flirt with them, And even then, the type of guy who's doing that is going for women half her age, because my auntie's in her 60s. And that is what usually happens to party girls. They have two choices. They kind of settle for a beta male like this, who would marry them, and he's going to kind of turn a blind eye to the fact that she's going to cheat on him on the side and run from man to man. Or, if the woman is really dumb, she'll divorce the husband, who was her safety net, and go off and be single and be independent, thinking she's still got it. And oftentimes, the party girl is going to end up just like my aunt, single and alone. Yeah, you might get used by a few more men, but you're going to be dying alone in your deathbed. And that is why, gentlemen, do not be the fool who dates a woman like this. You have to vet them. Now that I've finished with the story, let's go through some of these comments. Let's be honest, the rise of weak men is also responsible for this. Completely agree. Men are to blame for even giving these women a chance. Make Christ great again, I agree. F this world, women literally use men until we can't take it anymore. I'm gonna effing snap, F this world. Okay, here we have a beta male simp who has a lot of estrogen, obviously, very weak. It's like, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, no one's putting a gun to your head, forcing you to marry some degenerate woman. You can choose differently. Fill in your knowledge gap, pay attention to red flags, be an astute observer in patterns. Is the girl interested? What are her values? Let me look at who she is as a person without my lust. Okay, the type of guys that complain, oh, I keep getting involved with women like this and they're using me. Well, you're obviously just as dumb as they are because you're getting involved with them. Another comment, the male sex drive will assure women always has an emergency. Yeah, there's always going to be some weak loser man who'll give a woman like that a chance. Someone said this would be more true if the woman was much worse looking and Michael ignored her despite her trying hard for his attention. Also, throw in, now I'm a Christian and I only have sex to procreate. I'm just not a sexual person anymore, for good measure. It's a joke, but there's truth in that. There are some women that settle and I don't really think they get right with God, but they pretend to be, to deceive innocent, young, or good Christian men who are more forgiving and will overlook a woman's past. Someone says this is 99% of guys that will eventually do well in crypto. This is their life after failure and grinding. At least this one is honest. Don't get caught with the 30-something pretending she's a good girl, but it just didn't work out with men. Any 30-plus single woman has been ran through. Yes and no. I actually, the few times that I have coached a few women a couple years ago. In fact, I have a case study from a woman. I'm going to link it at the end of the video and it will pop up at the end of the screen. You guys can watch it. Very pretty woman. I'm not going to say her name, but she's a famous opera singer. I believe she's in her early 30s. Beautiful woman, very clean past, doesn't have a body count, hasn't been ran through. She came from a broken home, and in the video she says it herself. Her father was a bad example, it was a mess. She became a feminist when she was young because she didn't know any better. She turned her life around, came to God, and she'd been learning how to choose good men. She got involved with one or two bad men along the way. But she's not a bad woman, she's not a single mom, she's not a widow, she's not been ran through, she hasn't had bad things like that happen, right? She's been more selective, but she spent a lot of time just working and being single, and she got involved with the wrong guy. You're going to see that in the video I'm going to share. And the reason why I'm saying this is because she's a pretty woman, like 9, 10 out of 10, and she has good values. She's in her early 30s. Can she still have children? Yes. Can she still find a good man? Yes. Does it mean she's a bad person? No. And I'm saying this because guys get into their head that, for the second a woman turns 30, they're all bad. For you guys in your 30s, by that logic, you're just as bad as them. I have clients and I've worked with men that are 30 plus, and it's not because they've been sleeping around. They've just been working really hard. They didn't really get to any relationships. Maybe you had a health emergency and you were single for many years, or you were in one long-term relationship, didn't work out. Again, you were single, recovering for many years. So you always have to ask, trust, and verify. I've even had some comments somewhere in some of my older videos where some women in their 30s have said, Guys always assume I've been ran through when I mention I'm like 31, 32, but that's not true. I've only had one boyfriend. I've been loyal my whole life. I'm single, want to find a good man. What do? Christian, and I tell a woman, just tell them exactly that. Be honest. So guys, just because the woman, this is making me laugh. I'm recording this video and I've got the clip of this soldier with shell shock looking at me, PTSD. I need to pause that, give it a like now because it's funny. So for you guys that relate to this comment, rethink that for a moment. Just because a woman is 30 plus does not necessarily mean she's been ran through. You have to trust and verify. See if it's true. Usually, yeah. The standard is there for a reason. Like, that's stereotype because it's mostly been true or proven to be. But there are good women who, they've had 1 or 2 boyfriends, didn't work out, and they're beautiful. You know, some women try when they're young to find a good man, which is the right thing to do. And because of a knowledge gap, they've ended up with the wrong man for years. Then they finally break up when they're in their late 20s. They take a couple years to heal, and now they're 30. They haven't been run through. They haven't been sleeping around. They've been good, loyal girlfriends that unfortunately got with the wrong man who wasted her youth, gave her empty promises. So, guys, trust but verify. That comment, take it with a grain of salt, okay? Someone said, I've seen this happen with so many hoes. Make sure to vet your partner carefully. I agree. Avoid party girls. Like I said about my aunt. You know, if you're and I have case studies. I've had emails from guys that have ended up in situations like this. Maybe the woman doesn't divorce him, but she's cheating on him because she doesn't have a sense of loyalty to him. She married him for financial stability, and she's cheating on the side with the men she really wants in brackets, because those men that are willingly fornicating with a married woman are not good men, but she thinks they're good. That's the best she can get, and that's what happens. That's the life cycle of people that live this lifestyle, unless they turn back to God. Someone said Kamala supporters, inappropriate picture there again, which I'm gonna have to skip past. My reaction too. Funny thing is, these girls never reveal themselves until it's too late. I disagree. You can always spot signs. The red flags are always there. This is every leftist chick, 30s and 40s. So anyways, I'm going to leave the clip there. There's not really much else to add. But 2.5 million views on Twitter calls for a good little comment there. And I hope you guys can learn from this and understand that you're responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. And for those of you that would like to learn more about what I do, here's my Relearning Relationships community, which I would love for you guys to be a part of it. I'll leave a link down below. You can join. It's $11 a month, and there's a 7-day free trial, so you can join. If you don't like it, cancel. Fantastic. We have a monthly group call. And further than that, for those of you that want to book a call with me, you can head over to my website. I'll also leave a link down below. And literally head over to my website, click Learn More to the About page, watch a 20-minute video which explains what Relationship Mastery is about. If you'd like to be part of my higher course community, you can also book a free call with me, fill out the questions, and we'll have a conversation, see if you're a good fit. I'll leave those links down below. That video should be popping up any second now for you guys, and it will also be linked down in the description from that female subscriber and her relationship situation. With that said, hope you all have a wonderful day and enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts down below.